The crypto market is still plummeting. We have Bitcoin below 20,000, Ethereum is below 1,000. Everything is still red. Where is the bottom? No one knows, but in this video, we're going to be taking a look at a strategy that you can use in order to take advantage of this bear market. So stay tuned and enjoy the video. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Eric here and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having a great day and are doing well. The crypto market is still the crypto market. Everything is still down and we have seen some key levels of support break down. But what I want to talk about in this video is how to use these situations to your advantage and make the best out of it. So we're seeing articles about Bitcoin sinking below 20,000 as the crypto meltdown intensifies. We have the 2 trillion crypto market crash won't kill the economy. They're talking about the US economy here. Then we have Mark Cuban basically saying that this reminds him of when Warren Buffett says, when the tide goes out, you get to see who is swimming naked. And this is basically what we are seeing in the entire markets right now. We have fears of recession. We're basically in a recession right now. Everything is down, and now probably you're wondering, what can you do if you want to invest in crypto? If you aren't in crypto and you want to invest, you can still use this strategy. And of course, if you are in crypto right now and you want to be adding into your position, you would definitely want to be doing this following strategy. And if you haven't guessed it, it's obviously dollar cost averaging. And if we just take a look at the broader market here, we have Bitcoin around 19,000, Ethereum below $1,000, absolutely insane. And looking at these percentages over the last 7 days, over the last week, we have these top crypto coins going down more than 30%. So obviously we're going to be taking a look at dollar cost averaging today. And before we do that, the whole principle behind dollar cost averaging and why you should utilize it, it's because you never know where the bottom is. And now people can say, well, it's going to be at 20,000. Clearly that wasn't the case. Then people could say 19,000, 18,000. They could look at technical analysis. You can look at the past and see what's happened. But the bottom line is that no one really knows where the bottom will be. So if we give you guys an example and we take a look at Bitcoin and we go all the way back to May 30th this week here, if I zoom in for you guys, we saw a few weeks where Bitcoin kind of hit a bottom at around 28,000. Then we saw a top at around 32,000. And over these 2 weeks, since these are weekly candles, people definitely bought the dip, definitely thought this was going to be the bottom. And if we take an average of that week, let's say you initially thought this was going to be the bottom and you bought Bitcoin and you put, let's say, all of your $1,000 that you wanted to invest in Bitcoin, you've invested all of it right there and then at around 29,500. Well, unfortunately, your investments of a few weeks ago would now be down roughly 35%. If we just go and take a percentage like this, you would be down about 35% or so. So obviously not the best idea to just drop all of your money all at once, because again, who knows where the bottom is. So this brings me to the strategy we're going to be taking a look at in this video. I've drawn out a few scenarios for you guys to make it more visual so you guys can understand what dollar cost averaging is. And for the new investors out there, it's essentially taking a bit of your capital and investing it on a frequent basis, depending, let's say you're going to want to invest a certain amount of money on a daily basis or on a bi-weekly basis or even on a weekly basis. It's all dependent on you and how much money you want to invest in this, but obviously this is probably the best strategy, and especially with prices falling. So I've given you a bit of an example here. Let's say we have $1,000. These are the current prices of these underlying coins, and of course you may not want to pick all of these coins. I would suggest going with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and of course picking the other coins that you think will have a good future. So I am obviously bullish on the entire crypto space as a whole, but again, depending on your capital, depending on how much money you want to invest in these coins, you guys can make your own decisions. But now if we take a look at what I have here, let's say I had $1,000 and I wanted to buy Bitcoin, I wanted to buy Ethereum, and basically I want to have different frequencies for the coins that I'm most bullish on. So as we can see here, I would be buying Bitcoin and Ethereum on a daily basis, and then I would be buying other coins on, let's say, a 2 times a week basis. And then even on DeFi, I've added a few of DeFi degen plays. And again, not anything in this video is financial advice, and none of these projects are a recommendation by any means, but you could also do the same for DeFi if you wanted to. But now if we go back to Bitcoin and Ethereum, I want to be buying those on a daily basis because of course, when we're talking about Bitcoin, we're talking about Ethereum, those are the key assets in the crypto space. So I would be potentially buying $5 worth of these two assets on a daily basis. And for the rest of these coins, I would be buying them on, let's say, a 2 times a week basis. So here we have some weekly and monthly totals. And again, you can play with these numbers. I just took $1,000 just for the sake of taking $1,000. And basically what this means is that you'd be investing about $35 into Bitcoin on a weekly basis, or about $140 on a monthly basis. So this is all pretty much self-explanatory. And if you were to kind of pick all of these projects and have those DeFi plays as well, you'd be investing about $600 in your entire month, which comes down to about $150 on a weekly basis. So again, you can play with these numbers. These aren't set in stone, but this is basically kind of the allocation I would have if I wanted to do this. Now, if we go back to the Bitcoin chart, I just want to show you guys what can happen in 1 week, and especially with the crypto space, things change rapidly. So if we just take a look at the week of June 6th, and if we just take what happened during that week, we saw Bitcoin crash at about 11%. And then if we take this week, which is ongoing, we can see that right now we've crashed another 28%, which is just absolutely crazy. So of course, if we take into account those percentages, I've given you a scenario where it's not as crazy. So of course, everything in this can change. But if we just go ahead and run through some numbers for your dollar cost averaging scenario, and again, I took the same coins and the same proportions we just looked at. I was investing $35 a week in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then about $10 a week in the other coins here. So if we take the first week and we see a 5% drop in the crypto space, again, all of these coins could drop different percentages, but if we just simplify it and have a 5% drop, we can see the new prices of these coins. And then again, we have week 2, we actually see an increase of 2.5%. Well, you can see that these prices are going up and so on and so forth. Now, I've taken some rational numbers here. I've got 5% drop, 2.5% increase, 1% drop, and 2% increase. But as we just saw, Bitcoin has actually dropped 11% last week and then 25% this week. So it's absolutely crazy. And these scenarios can move quite quickly. Now, if we take a look at how much I would be able to buy depending on the week and depending on the move, here we can see that Bitcoin, I'd be able to buy about the same amount. If I obviously added more decimals, we could see that I would be able to buy a bit more each week, or every time it drops and increases, the amount of Bitcoin I'd be able to buy would obviously fluctuate. Now, if we take a look, for example, at Matic, we can clearly see here that I'd be able to buy about 29.24 on week 1. And then obviously, since the price increases, well, my $10 of Matic is not going to buy me as much. But all that to say, I'm sure you guys understand what is happening here, but your dollar cost averaging method is going to allow you to have a better cost basis for each of these assets. So as we can see here with this summary, if I were to invest all of my money into these coins right now, this is basically what I would be getting. And of course, who knows what happens next? Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? And as we saw with our lovely chart, Bitcoin has fallen about 25 to 28% alone this week. So had you invested all of your money last week and you thought this was the bottom, well, you'd be down about 28% on your investment. So obviously you don't want to do that. And if we take a look at the dollar cost averaging method, you can see that obviously it's not going to be extravagant. You're not going to be making millions, but we can see, for example, for Matic, we've been able to capture about 3 more Matic coins. Same thing with Crow, about 13 more. But obviously with these bigger priced assets like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, you're not going to be making a huge difference, but you can still see that you are able to purchase more on that dollar cost averaging method. So that's what I wanted to bring your attention to. And again, this was only with about $600 invested on a monthly basis. Now that may be too much for some of you guys. It may be not enough for others. So you can play around with these numbers, and obviously depending on the different scenarios, we could see that this could change in a heartbeat, and crypto is so volatile, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend investing all in one shot, but rather investing with the dollar cost average strategy. So with all that being said, if you guys enjoyed the video, smash the like button. If you are new to the channel, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace.